But what expanded it was when Frankie Lymon and the Teenagers showed up in 1956 with Why the Fools Fall in Love. It exploded
Mm.
because here was a young group of kids, teenagers, pun intended, who were making music for teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Again, pun intended. And then it took off all over the world. And now, as I said, it's not generic. We accept. I use the term from time to time, but it just didn't exist at that time.
Now, what was it like though in that whole era for you, the teenagers and other performers? How old were y'all? Uh, Frankie Lymon was with the teenagers. Everybody was a teenager around that time.
Yeah.
But what kind of lifestyle was that? I know people talk about how the record industry also was not trying to create careers for kids. They would just get the record out and just keep moving on. But the kids loved just being on, hearing the record on the radio, have other kids in the neighborhood knew who you were. Just what was that like? Just being in that era.
Well, first of all, there was no record industry at that time. It subsequently became a record industry, and now in the 21st century, it really doesn't even exist anymore.
Right.
But they felt that this music was going to be very short-lived, wasn't going to be around long, and that at some point everyone is going to regain and recapture their sanity, and the music of the crooners, the Tony Bennett's, the Frank Sinatras, and it would return. But when the kids started getting into it, it was done. It was over. Speaking of the teenagers, the first group to travel the world singing this music, the first group to play the London Palladium. And after they did the London Palladium, they had a private performance for Princess Margaret and Queen Elizabeth. They went to the contiguous 48 states of America. We didn't have Alaska and Hawaii then. They went to every state. And it just, I often say, because, as you know, I was in the latter version of the teenagers. We were called Frankie Lymon's legendary teenagers.
Mhm.
And again, in the 90s and into the 2000s, we again traveled the world. And to go to places like Barcelona, Spain, to go to a seaside town called Senigallia, Italy, where and I'm talking about kids now, I'm talking about young people
Mhm.
who weren't around when the records were originally released, but they knew all the songs and they would sing the songs. They could barely speak English,
Mm.
but they knew all the lyrics of the song. It was a mind-blowing thing to experience.